Hello, everybody. Welcome to our very first read aloud, virtual read aloud. And I am here in my home. I have my dog Russell right there next to me. He's taking a nap right now. And it's Spirit Week, pajama day, so I've got my cozy sweatpants on. And it's kind of chilly and rainy and dreary out. So the book that I picked is actually called Spring. It is a frog and toad book, and the title of this one is called Spring. And we actually had the first day of spring here a few days ago, but it doesn't feel super springy outside because it's still kind of chilly and dreary. It's not very warm or sunshiny, at least not today. So that was why I picked this book, because in this book, they are kind of having the same problem. Even though it's the first day of spring, it doesn't really feel like spring, okay? And we have our two main characters. We have Frog and we have Toad. And frogs and toads, they hibernate in the winter when it's cold out. So it's the first day of spring, and Frog is ready to wake up and start playing, but Toad, not so much. So let's read to find out what Frog does to help his friend get ready for spring. Frog ran up the path to Toad's house. He knocked on the front door. There was no answer. "Toad, Toad," shouted Frog. "Wake up, it is spring." "Wah," said a voice from inside the house. "Toad, Toad," cried Frog. "The sun is shining, the snow is melting, wake up." "I am not here," said the voice. And there is a picture of Frog knocking on Toad's door. Frog walked into the house. It was dark. All the shutters were closed. "Toad, where are you?" called Frog. "Go away," said the voice from a corner of the room. Toad was lying in bed. He had pulled all the covers over his head. Frog pushed Toad out of bed and onto the front porch. Toad blinked in the bright sun. "Help!" said Toad. "I cannot see anything." So there is Frog trying to wake up Toad. And because Toad's house was so dark and cozy, when he went outside, it was very sunshiny and it was so bright on his eyes that he couldn't really see. "Don't be silly," said Frog. "What you see is the clear, warm light of March, and it means that we can begin a whole new year together, Toad. Think of it," said Frog. "We will skip through the meadows and run through the woods and swim in the river. In the evenings, we will sit right here on this front porch and count the stars." "You can count them, Frog," said Toad. "I will be too tired. I am going back to bed." So there's Frog telling Toad all about the wonderful things that he thinks they can start doing together now. Toad went back into the house. He got into the bed and pulled the covers over his head again. "But Toad," cried Frog, "you will miss all the fun." "Listen, Frog," said Toad. "How long have I been asleep?" "You have been asleep since November," said Frog. "Well then," said Toad, "a little more sleep will not hurt me. Come back again and wake me up at about May. Good night, Frog." So remember, first graders, how we learned how to tell time? And we said that if it's 10:30, we could also say 10:30. So Toad is telling Frog Come wake me up when it's 1/2 May, which means about halfway through May. Don't come back for a while." "But Toad," said Frog, "I will be lonely until then." Toad did not answer. He had fallen asleep. Frog looked at Toad's calendar. The November page was still on top. Frog tore off the November page. He tore off the December page, and the January page, and the February page, and the March page. He came to the April page. Frog tore off the April page too. So he has a paper calendar. Toad does, and Frog is removing all of the months that have passed, and even some that haven't passed yet. Then Frog ran back to Toad's bed. "Toad, Toad, wake up! It is May now." "What?" said Toad. "Can it be May so soon?" "Yes," said Frog. "Look at your calendar." Toad looked at the calendar. The May page was on top. "Why, it is May," said Toad as he climbed out of bed. Then he and Frog ran outside to see how the world was looking in the spring. So there is him showing him the calendar, and here they go off to explore in the springtime. So he tricked his friend a little bit to get him to wake up. So hopefully he won't be too upset when he realizes that he tricked him. Well, my dears, I hope, I'm just good over here by Russell so you can see him. Russell. Oh, such a good boy. I hope you are all doing well. I miss you all, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.